Gentlemen, this is my friend Patrick Von Dolan, and we're talking to you about what happened with the San Antonio Charter Amendment Prop A, because people have asked all over. Man, it was a great victory. It was a great victory. Patrick, what was the number that we actually won by? Was it 68, 78, 108?
Right at 74%.
74%, right at 74% from the financial analyst. So thank you for being specific. Patrick, as we look at this, you know, for those of y'all that don't know, what was on the ballot, Patrick and I talked about, was the fact that they're trying to legalize illegal marijuana being maintained. They were trying to decriminalize abortion. So if somebody participated in an abortion, which is against state law, they would not be arrested by the San Antonio police. Am I right so far, Patrick?
That's correct.
And then the third thing they were trying to do was
Trying to decriminalize theft up to $750 per person per incident, and vandalism up to $2,500 per person per incident. And then also implement a whole new department to the city under what's called the Justice Director, a czar, with a Justice Czar and all his staff that would become as a result.
So I could go to Patrick's house, steal less than $800 worth of stuff, and a cop could see me coming out the door, and Patrick could be behind me yelling, "Don't steal my stuff," and that cop could have said, "Hey, Weston, you shouldn't do that, but I'm going to let you go." That's the cite and that's the release. They could say, "Hey, let me give you a ticket and we'll see you in court," all the while Patrick's saying, "You're stealing from me. You're stealing from me." And I know Patrick doesn't necessarily look like a senior citizen, but you and I talked about how this is really damaging and really perilous for senior citizens, like some of the ones we know. So imagine, somebody's a senior citizen who got their lawnmower stolen out of the back of their house, right? That's a big expense for them to replace. So that's what we're talking about. Now, I had told some people that this was a political rainbow, meaning that, and there's two pots of gold on each side. And what I had told you, Patrick, was that those people that were for Prop A, those guys could ride this rainbow all the way to victory. And as we talked about in the very beginning, I said that they also had no intention of making this pass. And those people that were against Prop A, maybe just publicly, like the guy in District 9 who's been endorsed by Bernie Sanders 3 times, and he's against all this stuff that he's ideologically been dying on a hill for, it's not possible, right? So now those couple of people, they were able to say, I'm against it, I'm against it, I'm against it, and galvanize themselves, insulate themselves from the political firestorm. So that is part of what we're talking about. Patrick, as you and and one of your groups, San Antonio Family Association, tell everybody about the big sign they might have seen driving around San Antonio and why you guys decided to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and back to your example, Weston, if you're stealing out of my house and I'm not prepared to take you on, and the policeman stops you, you can give him false identification now through Proposition A, was going to allow you to lie about who you really were. The San Antonio Family Association was proud to be one of the leaders in helping defeat Proposition A, and we did so by numerous different efforts. And one of those things that Weston just alluded to was this billboard. It's a 10 by 17 billboard that we've used since 2015 when the city allowed Planned Parenthood South Texas to have 5 unfavorable zoning law violations and get away with it for their new abortion facility. So it came back to be used here in this Proposition A because, in large part, it was trying to decriminalize abortion. So a different way for the city to participate in favoritism of abortion and Planned Parenthood in their major business. And so it's massive. It's a billboard. It's a mobile billboard, 10 feet by 17 feet. And it said, crime should not pay an SA. And Weston gets the credit for that statement. And then it said, vote against Proposition A. Don't let San Antonio become a criminal sanctuary, because that's what Proposition A would have done. Is we're a Christian city. We were established on June 13, 1691 on the feast day of St. Anthony. That's how San Antonio got its name. And then it flourished from there. The city of San Antonio is a Christian city. Yes, Judeo-Christian. It's a melting pot. We got lots of different people. San Antonians love each other. But at the same time, it's a Christian city, and we had to fight to make sure it didn't become a criminal sanctuary.
And if you want to pay to have one of those mobile billboards listed in your honor, $2,000 to $2,500. We can make sure it's taken care of, and that would be a great thing. If somebody wants to be a part of that, you can message myself, Patrick, or San Antonio Family Association, because it does cost money, and they've already done it. But you know what? There's going to be another fight where we're going to need to pull out one of our secret weapons. People joke that my hair is a secret weapon once in a while, depending on who we're
It's
talking
almost as
about.
tall as that billboard.
It is. Which the billboard is actually, what is it? Is it 16 by
17 feet wide by 10 feet tall.
So basically a small movie theater on wheels.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic opportunity. It really makes the liberals mad. But as we talk about this, Patrick, a lot of people have talked about and told me, wow, it's such a victory. Man, everybody worked together. And you know what? To the credit, like we mentioned a minute ago, there were a good number of people that worked together, whereas they have not on other things. Okay? When we work together, we win. I made a comment a long time ago that when conservatives unite, we win. And I'm talking about real conservatives, not faux conservatives. And in this situation, people honestly might be lulled to sleep to think somehow that, man, we're now going to take it back. We're now going to do this, when in fact, that couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah. So Ron Nirenberg, the liberal mayor from San Antonio, whose first public act as mayor went to go speak at the Annenberg College in Chicago, which is actually funded by Bill Ayers, the Weather Underground terrorist organization. You people that are over the age of 57 might know exactly who I'm talking about. But that was his first act as mayor, right? So now, you know, he came out against it. Just real quickly before we wrap up on the last half of this video, tell people why you think Ron Nirenberg came out against it.
Well, and Ron Nirenberg also went to the Annenberg Institute. And so it was a tribute back to Annenberg Institute to go after his elected mayor and got this official position coming from Boston to Texas to take over a Texas town, a South Texas town, a Christian city that was going to lead it astray. And he's done that, no doubt. Ron Nirenberg was for Proposition A before he was against it. And you've heard that before. He did a great flip-flop. And one of the great reasons that we know he was at KSAT 12 did a great video of him when he came out against Proposition 8 publicly. It was after he received pressure from the downtown business establishment that he changed his mind. And what they were saying basically was, Ron, you've turned up the water temperature too hot. It's boiling now. The frog's about to jump out. We're not going to support you if you don't make this correct, get this corrected and undo this boiling pot that you've created. But Ron Nirenberg made it very clear on KSAT 12 News that the reasons he was for it before is because he was for it for different issues. And most importantly, he said 3 times, reproductive health care access. And we know reproductive health care access means that's code word for abortion. And that's big abortion industry. Ron Nirenberg has been the playboy of Planned Parenthood South Texas. And he's received more money than anybody else in the last 10 years. And I think you and Mike identified that money at one point in time. He's received a lot of money from Planned Parenthood South Texas donors. He is the fair-haired boy from Planned Parenthood South Texas, and he is the abortion advocate. So he said in that KSAT 12 video where he gave excuses of why he flip-flopped that he was all about reproductive health care access, and he was so proud that they passed the abortion resolution on August 2nd of 2022. Well, before that, Ron Nirenberg was City Council of District 8 back in 2014 and 15 when Planned Parenthood broke its 5 zoning violations and got away with it. We tried to hold him accountable for it, and that's where the billboard comes back into it, and that's a whole nother story. But Ron Nirenberg has been pro-abortion all this time, and that's his main thing. After August 2nd of last year, when we passed the abortion resolution with Terry Castillo of District 5, he passed a legislative agenda on November 3rd of 2022 that sent pro-abortion bills to Austin, the Texas legislature, which the legislative session is going on right now, which included also marijuana legalization, which has included gun control and all sorts of green energy stuff, and so all this progressive stuff that he was for. So Ron Nirenberg is definitely for pieces of this, and he admits to that. He just came out against the whole thing in total because he wanted to save face and make sure he was reelected. He wasn't concerned about reelection. He was concerned about money from the big establishment, downtown establishment.
And look, we wanted to just bring you this quickly. I appreciate you guys following the Weston Martinez Show, and follow me on all the different platforms that I'm on. Everything is at Weston Martinez. Patrick, they can find you at?
In this case, for San Antonio Family Association, at San Antonio Family Association, where we did the work against Proposition A and fighting this bad ballot measure, as well as at P. Von Dolan.
So check us out on those locations. You can also find me on Americanic TV, as you guys are starting to join on that, because it's not connected to Google, it's not connected to Amazon, so therefore we don't have to worry about having our free speech canceled, which is a very important thing, and it's only $10 a month. So be a part of that.
I'd like to say, you're right. We did work together. But it wasn't necessarily a great coalescing of all the different conservatives and forces. It was truly the work of the Holy Spirit to motivate people to get up and move and do it. There were 5 major organizations that were involved in leadership, but there were lots of people doing this. Mm-hmm. They were all compelled by the Holy Spirit, I think, to stand up for what's truly right for the individual, right and good for the individual and the community. And we need to do a better job of working together. And I think that's the point, is we can't fall asleep now, because we are in a situation where we while we won a victory, those same 74%, a large majority of them all voted to re-elect the incumbents who put Proposition A on the ballot to begin with on February 16th of this year.
Yeah, exactly. So I know we would all agree that the Holy Spirit was always willing, and the human flesh were able to finally humble themselves to work together as they should. And that's why we just wanted to unpack this for you. There's a lot of different celebrating that's going on out there, and we should celebrate. That's fantastic. But we also don't want to pretend like, we're 7 wins into a 10-game season, because that's really not the case. We're behind the 8 ball. We've got a lot of radicals that were reelected with a wide majority. We've got school board elections and races that a lot of them just reelected the same sort of establishment people, and we have to be vigilant. There's going to be an update coming out of Austin with some of the bills that are taking place over there. We'll talk about that on another program. There's some more stuff with the city of San Antonio with some runoff elections that are happening, and honestly, everybody involved in the runoff is all part of the liberal agenda, unless I'm wrong. And so don't waste your time. We're basically talking about the same hogs in the same class and the same classification. So,
and 7 of the 9 incumbents who voted for Proposition A all won re-election, and won it big.
Yeah,
and
60+%.
The mayor won over 70%.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in. Follow me on social media. Follow Patrick and his groups on social media. And God bless you, and God bless Texas. And thanks for watching this Weston Martinez Show.